afternoon, good evening to all our viewers, whatever time you're catching us. Welcome to yet another episode of Beyond Numbers, a podcast by KKCO East Africa LLP. We are very, very excited to be hosting you and have you on this episode. I will be your host. My name is Liz Ndirito, and with me I have two exemplary people that I'm excited for you guys to meet. So I'll ask the gentleman to my far right to introduce himself. So please introduce yourself. Tell us what you do at KKCO. So yeah, go for it.
Thank you, Liz. My name is Matthew Njunge. At KKCO, I'm the team leader in the outsourced accounting department. So that is essentially what I do at KKCO.
All right. Karibu sana, Matthew.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Awesome.
Okay, so my name is Liz Matibu. I'm a partner responsible for advisory, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, awesome. So karibuni sana. I am very, very excited to have you in this particular episode. And I really love this episode because I feel it's going to create value to people who I know have had similar challenges that I've had myself. Now, Matthew, you said outsourced. You're the team leader in outsourced accounting. Please give us a brief of what outsourced accounting means and is about.
Yeah, so outsourced accounting, this is where, just from the definition of the name accounting, this is where what we do is we assist companies in doing their accounting for their companies. And by accounting, we mean, the bookkeeping bit, the reporting bit, and generally even the banking bit of the organization. So that is in a nutshell what we do. And of course, we also handle payroll because it's part of the outsourced accounting.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is in brief what the department does. Yeah.
And so that basically means also in the outsourced bit is I have my business and I am going to outsource that service to you. So you'll be handling my that accounting or payroll service or that particular issue, whether in my business or remotely, right?
Yeah, that is true because it all depends. We come to an agreement with you. If you require us to be in your apartment, then we come to your offices because currently, because accounting has actually evolved, so we can actually do it remote.
Oh, right.
So depending with your needs. Yeah.
Awesome. Liz, I'd want to know, what are some of the challenges that you have observed around this issue of accounting?
Okay. So, in other words, what challenges you've experienced for clients, typical clients who need outsourcing, yeah? So maybe the first one I can talk about is competent staff. So many organizations, maybe there are, it could be even a 10-man show or a 100-man show or a 1,000-man show. You'd find that, like for small organizations, they may hire an accountant, but you want that accountant to operate like a finance manager because maybe you can't afford getting hiring at that level of finance manager. So maybe you're starting up your business or you've set up, maybe you're an international organization that has come to Kenya and you've set up, and maybe you don't want to hire that finance manager who's going to cost you 300,000 and what you end up taking is an accountant, an affordable accountant. But then you want the accountant to operate at the level of finance manager, which is it's not possible. You want to pay low but get the services of a experienced person.
Yeah.
But so that's one of the main challenges. So you get the business owner or the charity organization, you get very frustrated because then you're expecting this staff member to deliver at your level, to bring you reports that you can understand, but then you've hired someone maybe who only has 1-2 years experience. So that's one of the major challenges that we've seen, and one of the solutions is, again, outsourcing. Yeah, because when you hire us, we will give you an experienced accountant whom we have trained, and then not only that, this accountant is supervised by team leaders internally.
Oh, okay.
So the accountant will be supervised, and then two, the accountant also has a backing of a lot of advisors within the organization. So if the accountant has a legal problem, we have a legal team internally. If the accountant has a tax problem, all the accountant needs to do is call the tax team leader.
Yeah.
If the accountant has a governance problem, you call the in-house CS.
Yeah.
If the accountant has an issue with the external auditor, you call the internal audit team internally. So then you have a team, you have this team member who are you able to afford at that level.
Yeah.
But then they come backed up with lots of experience behind
Yeah.
them. Yeah, so that's one of the main challenges and a solution that outsourcing provides. Yeah.
Matthew, do you have any like an observation you've made even with your clients, the clients that you service?
Yeah, that is true. Just to emphasize on what Lisa said, we also have the issue of the challenges that you find that the client's books are not properly kept. So you find like you have balances in your balance sheet that are not even supported. So nobody knows even what they relate to. So that is also, it's actually very common because we have actually faced it quite a number of times. So you find that you have the numbers there, but you cannot easily support them.
Yeah.
So, and I think the good thing with KKCO is that we normally reconcile our accounts on a monthly basis. So any number that we are presenting to you as our client, we assure that we can actually support and trace these numbers to the source. So we don't just maintain figures that are actually not supported. So that is a main one that we have experienced, and I know it's a challenge with most of the organizations.
Yes.
And I think another one is the issue of transparency, where you find like an accountant, like for example, there is a mistake. They do a mistake. If you have an in-house accountant, they do a mistake, and they wouldn't be willing to come forward and say. So they just try and fix it and try and maneuver their way. But for us, we are very straightforward. We find something, we just come straight to you. We tell you, okay, this is the problem, and then we now decide on how we want to solve that problem as well.
Yeah. And I'm imagining anyway, just to piggyback on what you've said, having outsourcing such a service, there's the independence that comes with it, Yeah, so if you're able to outsource that, because I'm guessing you could be the accountant anyway. Your accountant, what is happening, the problem is from a managerial position, and the accountant does not know how to go about that particular aspect because that's their boss. So I like the bit of that independence. Let me tell you a problem for me I faced, whether it's in business. I am an expert in what I do, right? And that could be what? Marketing, branding. I'm an expert in that. And my accountant, will come to me or like read to me our records and all those things. But a lot of the things that they are saying, I have no idea. Like I'm not, it's always a difficult, And so I've realized that why it would be really important to just outsource that service, outsourcing that service to experts like you guys is because you are the expert, and I'm also able to now just focus on my core business.
Okay.
I think that's a benefit that guys in SMEs, businesses, would really, really benefit from. Is there any other that
so maybe just to add on what you're saying in terms of the benefits of business owners who want to focus on their core and leave the non-core. It's core, but leave the ones where they're not experts to us. You find that we are able to break it down for you. We understand the technical. So your accountant will of course understand the technical, but may not be able to break it down for you. But we're able to break it down for you and explain how those numbers affect your business. So we're not just going to give you numbers or say give you checks just for payments. We'll be able to do the numbers and explain how those numbers will tell you, you know what, Liz, your business, you've only made 10 million sales last month. You had budgeted. We'll even put for you, but we'll tell you, you know what, at the beginning of the year, let's make a budget based on your strategy. where do you see your farm going? What do you want to do? What budgets are you working on? And we'll sit with you. You'll tell us what your vision is. You'll tell us what you want your return to be, your bottom line. And then we'll come up with the numbers. We'll help come up with numbers with you. Tell us, you know what, I want to make 50 million next year. So we'll put 50 million. We'll say, okay, to make that 50 million, what does that mean? So you'll tell us, you know what, if I want to make 50 million, I have to up my marketing. I have to hire. By the time it's the end of the year, I have to hire 10 staff with these skills. I need to get a bigger office, and we'll be able to break it down for you and prepare for you a budget. Usually a fresh accountant may not have that skill set. But from our end, we have the skill set. The accountant who we allocate to you may have that skill set. If they don't have the skill set, they have the team leader who comes and meets you at your organization, say weekly. So the team leader will come and sit with you, help you prepare a budget. Then at the end of every month, we'll sit with you and say, okay, Liz, you had said you want to make 50 million by the end of this year. It's 6 months down the line. You've only made 10 million. That means everything you said that you're going to do, why have you only made 10 million and not 25 million, because we're halfway through the year? You should have made 25 million. And you'll be able to answer those questions. You may say, you know what, it's change of environment, or we said we'll hire a marketing manager at the beginning of the year and we didn't hire, or I was expecting these clients, but then competition happened, whatever reasons you'll give, or maybe you just didn't sell. You didn't, you had this strategy which you didn't implement. So then your numbers don't come to being. So we're able to take you through that decision. And then we also look at your expenses. We say, okay, maybe you made the 25 million. It's six months down the line. You made the 25 million. But when you look at your bottom line, maybe you say, in my line of business and also in what I want a return of, say 30%. So for every 100 shillings you make, I want 30 bob to be profits. Net profit margin of 30%. So what happens is we say, you've made 25 million, but you've actually spent 25 million. So it's a nil-nil, So what happened? So then you come back, we look at your expenses. We say, okay, you said, you know what? Staff cost, you had budgeted 10 million. Yeah. You've spent 15 million. Why have you spent 15 million? What happened? And you'll be able to understand and say, actually, I didn't realize. I just hired. I went to the hiring process without thinking through, you know what, I need to hire and I need to make sure my salary level is X amount of money based on my strategy for the year. So then we're able to tell you, okay, now what do we need to do to adjust ourselves between July to December? And so you see, we're able to guide you. The accountant, our outsourced services, we're able to guide you and work with you in the journey of ensuring that from a strategic point of view, you know what, you're using your numbers to make decisions. You're able to take a step back and say, hey, we need to refocus. We need to look at cutting down our marketing, or we need to increase our marketing costs. We need to see what kind of, maybe you have the team, but maybe the team is not performing well, and the team was meant to bring X amount of revenue, but the team is only bringing Y. So what do we need to adjust? Is it a training need? So the numbers will help you. And our outsourced accounting role at KKCO will help you walk with you that journey of using a budget and using your numbers to make effective decisions. Can you imagine if you had an accountant who's giving you wrong numbers, or an accountant who's not giving you the numbers? I always wonder, and many times I see business owners, it's the end of the month, the end of 3 months have passed, and you have no clue what your sales are. You just have an idea based on, I know I got this client, this. So you have an idea, but you really have no clear idea. Then my expenses are, as long as I have money in the bank, I'm okay. But you have no clue how you're spending. So then even how do you drive your business? And then a year later, 2 years later, when you go back and you wonder what really happened. So an outsourced accounting, can help you.
And I can say that for sure is a conversation that I think I've benefited from. That question of, okay, you are making money and it looks like a lot of money, but is it really a profit? Like, what do these numbers look like? And you can imagine for some of us who are in this industry, whether it's like in the marketing industry, you want the next fancy office in X place, But then when, just having those conversations with you guys and being asked the hard questions makes all the difference.
Yeah.
Now, I'd want to know, how does the onboarding process look like for you guys? And imagine it's what my dental clinic, for example. I have you've just gotten me as a new client by dental clinic. How does the onboarding process look like? Maybe Matthew could take us through just briefly.
Yeah. So in brief, it's actually very very swift. So what we do, number one, is so we get your current position. We just get you to take us through your business, what you do, how your operations look like, where you get your income from, what are your major expenses. And then now from there, we now take a deep look into your books. Number one, we just check whether, just from you and from the initial conversation, we just check whether you've been doing proper accounting, because that is actually where we first start, just to understand whether there are some historical issues that maybe you've had that we need to fix first before we now before we now start with the current. And of course, still in that onboarding process, of course, it will be it's actually very interactive, because it is once we get the information from you, then from there we now tell you, okay, these are some of the things that probably are not okay. These are some of the things that we need to change. Like, for example, you find like maybe you are using maybe an off-system accounting system. We tell you, okay, this is a better one that you can take. So it's normally we normally get the conversation going with you, so that at least now we can all agree and on the way forward.
Which, like, speaking of systems, I'd say that is also like a challenge I've faced, whereby the systems also feel so complex, and I know we've talked about these and maybe you could just briefly tell guys about Xero as a system.
Yeah, so maybe just on systems and what Matthew has talked about. When it comes to systems, once we have onboarded you and we've gone through a walkthrough with you, all your sales, or if you're an NGO, how your income comes in, your expenses, we've looked at all that. If you have a foreign international body, a related party, we look at all that. And once we look at all that, we then look at where you're coming from. Many times, very many times, we find a big number one problem is the system. One, you find that it could be a very complex system you have that you don't need. Like sometimes I find it's a small NGO, but then because a donor came and said, you know what, we'll fund you with an accounting system. Instead of analyzing what needs they have, the team who made the decision decides to order a very complicated system, which would be maybe for a manufacturing company, with many levels of approvals. And maybe you're a lean farm of 30 employees or 50 employees, but you have a very complicated system because the donor has funded that money. But then the system doesn't even suit you because you don't have the skills. Maybe the money initially was put to train the teams, but then it's not being used, it's not relevant. So you find even the finance team default back to the old system. And what happens is it doesn't work for you. Then you have complicated reports. You start having figures and balances that don't make sense. It just becomes a multiplier issue, and then you have numbers that don't add up. And when the audit comes, the audits take forever because the accounting system doesn't work. So what we have found, especially for the medium, so we say first do an analysis of what kind of system you have. What we have found for the small to medium sized companies, a company that has maybe sales less than 100 million, and you're not a manufacturing, you're not a manufacturing organization, and maybe you're a dental practice, you could be a law firm, you could be a bookshop, you could be what else? What other items could you be? You could be a not-for-profit. the system we found, we could be a practice like ours. The system that we found that really works is one called Xero. And actually how we discovered the system called Xero is through one of our clients. So we had a client who was setting up within our international member firm called DFK, who was setting up in Kenya. And they asked us, you know what, we wanted to outsource accounting to experts as they were setting up in Kenya. And they told us, you know what, the system we want you to use is Xero. So many times also, we have clients who want to outsource accounting and they already have their systems. And we have no problem. What we'll do, and we have learned so many systems, especially because international clients come with their own systems. So the client told us you'll use Xero. This is many years back. So we said, okay, we learned Xero. Accounting system is an accounting system. Debit, credit, it should be easy to utilize. So we got into the system, got to discover how it works, and we loved it. And we told ourselves, when we see the need of a client, when we see a client having a need of accounting, we recommend Xero. And I'll tell you why Xero. One, it's cloud-based. Cloud means the system is hosted in cloud on the internet. It's a plug and play. I don't need to get a server, or I don't need to get my computer, log in, load the software into my computer. Then if my computer crashes, I lose the data. Or if the accountant disappears with the system, they disappear with all the, I mean, you've had such cases where the accountant disappears and they disappear with all the data, you know. But if the system crashes, many times you just hear the system crashed. Yeah, we don't have such problems because it's cloud-based. Two, security-wise, the security is fantastic. It's been tried, tested. Xero is used internationally. It's used by so many firms. You can even check online. So many international firms. So from a security point of view, you're covered. I'm not relying on my own internal security. It's already been done and they're always upgrading it. Upgrades are done automatically. I don't need, like the way you have your phone, your iPhone, and there's a new upgrade. It automatically updates the security system on the phone. Same thing happens with this cloud system. Xero. All upgrades happen automatically. Three, it's like an ERP. What that means is, from an accounting point of view or a bookkeeper's point of view, when you're making any payment, it has to be approved first. So you prepare something called a payment voucher, where you attach the invoice, you attach the payment voucher document, and you approve it. Xero, that process is automated. If I have a payment, first of all, if I have procurement, I can go online and prepare quotations. I'll do it on the system. I'll attach. So then there's zero paperwork. I don't need to attach papers. When a client sends me an invoice on email, I attach that invoice into the system on cloud. So then you eliminate paperwork. Zero paperwork. There's no paperwork. Everything is on cloud. All the documents I get is on cloud. So if I'm carrying an audit, all I do is I give the auditor a login credentials for audit, and all they do is they go online and carry out their audit online, because all the documents are already attached. Every single payment is supported, or every single income is supported on cloud. For another benefit, it's approvals. I mentioned are approved online. So when I put a payment, like maybe I want to approve my marketing costs, I have received an invoice. So I put the invoice into this. I put the invoice, and then if I'm the accountant, I'll put it in, I'll prepare it, and then if Matthew is my authorizer, Matthew will get an email telling me you need to authorize a payment. So Matthew will then go online and approve the payment. Then me, the accountant, I'll see it's approved. I can then prepare online. I can go to bank and prepare the bank payment because it's been approved, and then process the bank payment, which I'll then reach out to Matthew, any director, to go and approve it on cloud. So again, there's no, I can be in Europe and I'm still approving payments. You see, I can be in Europe. I can know what's happening. Yes, I can be at time. I can be on leave. It's not good to work during leave, but I can approve if I'm a director and I want to know what's happening. I know what's happening. But another benefit, I can go on and on. Another benefit is at the touch of a button on my phone. And on my phone, I can do the approvals on my phone. So, and I can then go to the system, the app. So it has an app. I can go to the app and say, I want to see my cash position. So I just go, I see back ABSA, I have X amount of money. NCBA, StanChart, I see how much money I have. Yeah. I see how much money I have. I know, okay, I have X amount of money in bank. Easy. I now can plan myself accordingly, you know? Or if I want to see what was sales last month, I don't need to wait for the accountant to tell me what sales were. Be the director, say, I have access as a viewer, as an authorizer. I just go on and I see, oh, my sales were 5 billion and my expenses were this. I'll just see, as a touch of my button, I'll see the P&L. I don't need to wait. If I want to see which clients have not paid, I've given sales on credit and 5 people haven't paid. I just go. I don't need to wait. I go check for myself who hasn't paid. I'll see. Are you seeing as a touch of your phone? I'll see. So then it makes work so easy. Yeah. And even for the accountant, you reduce the time because once you prepare the payment, I'm not going to do double post. I'm not going to post again. All I'll do is it'll automatically, once it's approved, it automatically goes to an expense. Automatically. It aligns itself accordingly. Another benefit, like the accounts team, when they're doing their bank reconciliations, you know, you hear other systems where you have to do tick, 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 tick. Yeah, accountants will understand me. But what this system does, I just get the bank statement, I attach it onto Xero. Yeah, and then I select the function reconcile. 2 minutes or 5 minutes. My banks have reconciled. And I'll be able to know if any item not reconciled, I'll be able to explain it as the accountant. So then the work, even for the accountant, the time they would spend working on numbers, if I had 2 accountants, if you have Xero, most likely you'll cut your costs to get one accountant. Yeah. So again, you reduce your cost. So the benefits of Xero are immense. It has, if you're a small and medium-sized enterprise, you can get it. It is linked. Maybe Matthew can tell us about it being linked on, because he's more pro on it. I don't know. He's more pro on it in terms of linking it to other apps, other systems.
Yeah, actually, it's actually more like, for example, if you want to migrate to probably maybe you are using an earlier system and you need to onboard to Xero. It's actually very easy because Xero has made it very easy for you to take that data that you had so that you don't start like doing that work again. So you just have a template, you upload all those items that maybe you are maintaining that other software, and then you have them in your Xero account. And also maybe just to emphasize on what Liz was saying on those bank reconciliations, you know, the good thing with it is that it actually has artificial intelligence. It uses AI. So when you're doing those reconciliations, like for example, let's say I had paid 100,000 to, let's say, Liz. Automatically, when I import those bank statements, it will match with my ledger. So what I'll do is it will just tell me probably the amount that you paid belongs to this particular bill for Liz. So I'll just go click the button and say reconciled. And of course, one that also I think I need to talk about is, and this is one of the key areas that most probably these other accounting softwares do not have, is that loophole where, you know, we have 3 main control accounts, whereby we have of course, your bank. You know, your bank is, it's a very crucial to the organization.
Yeah.
And then we still have those bills, the bills that you have to pay. And now the debtors, which are now the invoices that you raise, people who have not paid you. So the good thing with it is that, you know, you cannot manipulate those 3 accounts. Like, for example, let's say you have a bill or maybe an invoice, and it's neither here nor there, so you don't know what to do with it. So what other accounting software allow you is to pass a journal to that account and you just make it disappear. So in Xero, you cannot do that because it will now prompt you to go back to the source and identify the reason for this particular transaction. So you cannot just say, okay, I have this number and I don't know what to do with it, so you just write it off. So it has actually locked those key accounts so that it actually facilitates. So the room for fraud there is very minimal because, like, for example, an accountant can even pass a journal in bank, and they can even just pay somebody and you see now with Xero, you cannot, because in Xero, you can only pay that bill or you pay an invoice. So it's very much, the controls there are very tight. And that is very key to many organizations because that is where fraud happens in those 3 accounts. Yeah.
I think the other thing also I just wanted to mention is the integration. So the Xero software integrates with other softwares. So for example, if you're an organization that has stock, so you can get a separate stock software that's cloud, and you integrate it using AP, it's called IPs.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it integrated, and the APIs. Thank you. It's called APIs. Integrated with APIs, and integrates and whatever you do on the stock software automatically upgrades the accounting software. So if it's a school, if it's a whichever organization, integrates directly with APIs. So then you can use this system, and they've been able to find ways to integrate with many other softwares. Currently in Kenya, we are hoping that it will eventually integrate with banks. I know other countries, Xero has integrated with the banking systems, but I know currently they're working towards integrating it, because I know many other of our clients who have other softwares, even the ones that are developed by developers. You're now able to integrate with the likes of Stanchart, KCB, apps. So you're able to integrate the software and the bank, so that any bank transaction that hits your bank automatically upgrades your accounting software. And then the last thing is it's affordable. It's not an expensive software. I think it's like the really high grade. There are different versions. I think starting with $40. Let's start with $40. Yeah, $40 to I think the highest of $65. $65 per month. And the one with $65, it comes with multi-currencies. It has unlimited number of users. So you even find, like in our office where we use the system, where maybe Matthew travels and he spends his lunch and he wants to claim. He's traveled, he's out of office, and because we give lunch to our staff, so if you're out of office, you can buy lunch and claim. Yeah. All he does, he goes to the system and applies for his claim online. And then any partner approves the payment, and the finance team, they don't need to wait and ask, has my payment been approved? They just go online, pick the details and approve them on bank. So it's quite easy, because then staff are able to apply for their claims, their mileage. They can apply directly from the system. So there's no, and approval again happens online.
Yeah.
So it's a really, I do not see why anyone should not take, especially if you're a medium, small organization.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking if there's one thing that we have done, and I feel I have done repping SMEs. These guys should just buy me lunch after this. We have really given them a lot of information that's so beneficial to them, and I feel this conversation is really, really beneficial. Just knowing about the existence of such a software, I think makes all the difference.
It does.
Yeah,
it does.
And even just the existence of outsourcing accounting.
Yeah.
Let's talk briefly about payroll.
Payroll. Should I go?
Yes,
I can go. So payroll also we work with, so just like accounting where we work with several softwares, also payroll, there are several softwares. So depending on the client's need, some clients will say, we already work with X payroll. Yeah. Some will, if it's like an American client, they'll tell you they work with a system called Workday. Yeah, they'll say it's Workday, and very, very nice system. I actually like that system, Workday, that it's payroll together with accounting, because we have some clients where we do for them the accounting in Kenya, even if they're based in Kenya, but their accounts are managed from the US. So we actually manage the payroll, and they allow us to use, they make us use, of course, we use their system. Very good. Of course, very expensive. Yeah. But then there are many other softwares where if you don't have one, we will introduce you to so many. There are so many softwares, and we are able to recommend a software depending on your needs. So if it's, just basic needs, we'll recommend like a system called Wingubox. If you want one that's integrated with the full HR process, we can recommend there's WorkPay, there's Seamless HR. There are so many softwares which we're able to recommend, and we're able to tailor make them to suit your needs. I think for us guys, what is critical in our payroll, it has to be online, it has to be cloud, security has to be tight. Yeah, basic payroll system must support payroll and must be able to support changes in regulatory. So for example, if you change, like the way pay as you earn is changing, I don't know, housing levy came into play this year, and then NSSF, NHIF, SHIF, you know, there are many statutory deductions. The payroll should be able to accommodate that. And you need to work with a payroll provider who is able to adjust immediately. It becomes low. The payroll provider should update that information that night. Then we would recommend that payroll software. The third thing we recommend is at least a basic payroll software should have the leave function. Okay. So that leave can also be done online. You apply and it's approved by your manager online. So leave and payroll should be done. And then we also say the software should be able, once I've done payroll, it should also be able to be approved online. That's what we do. We prepare it for you, make the changes for the month. It's approved by your manager online, and we then should be able to pull out the file and upload it to whichever bank you use so that the bank approves it. Yes.
What would be a benefit of me outsourcing like payroll?
Yeah, so I think it's actually, you'll actually get the benefit in the sense that, number one, and it's actually something that we've experienced in the past, you'll find that some organizations actually have an internal HR and the way they do their payroll. Like, for example, you understand you have the key thing with payroll is you have to comply with the statutory, you know, the requirements, the law. That is number one. And so the good thing with outsourcing it to KKCO is that you'll actually get that benefit, because from our side, we actually work hand in hand with the tax team. So we are actually abreast with all the changes in law, and we are actually able to update it very easily in your system. And then the other good thing is that the fact that payroll is part of your expenses, it means that it still has to go to your books of account. And so from our side, we are able to get that information from that particular software where you're doing your payroll, and we get that cost in your books, and you are able now to be sure of this was the actual cost that I spent on my employees. So the other thing is, of course, the timeliness. You know, for us, we work with timelines. So like, for example, you say your payroll needs to be done, let's say, by 20th or 23rd. So from our side, we'll ensure that payroll is actually done by that time. And so you are certain that nothing can go wrong when you have us. So those are some of the benefits that you actually get.
Wow. Thank you for that. I think this would be an episode that SMEs will really, really like benefit from. And anyway, I think everyone who has a business, this is in gold. It's good information, you know. And I think it's also information that more often than not, I think people maybe would not be aware of. So I'm really grateful for your time. Thank you for creating time to be with us and really just contribute towards such content that has value. It's been an exciting episode and really a learning. It's been a learning curve for me. I've learned so much. Yeah. So thank you so much. I hope the next time we call you guys, will still be willing to give us a lot of information. I know there is so much information, and we could go on and on and on about some of these things, and even be specific in benefits or challenges in these different topics. Yeah. So Matthew and Liz, thank you so much for your time. To our viewers, we are really grateful for the time that you have created to just watch. Please ask your questions, leave your comments in the comment section. ask us questions. Let us know what kind of content do you want us to create. It's important that we're able to create content that is able to meet your needs. So please ask us. Let us know what kind of conversations do you want for us to have. So please also share these conversations with your friends, your family members. Let us all grow together. So till next time, please keep it beyond numbers. KKCO East Africa, LLP. Cheers.